Hello, Tim from Fairplay Now on the 19th of July 2023. So I saw this meme knocking around on my various Telegram groups in the last day or two, thought it was quite amusing, and it says, "Look him in the eyes and tell him that climate change isn't real. Barry, 55, climate change victim. Stay home, apply factor 50. Hide from the sun." Very reminiscent, isn't it? Well, it's obviously mocking that disgraceful bit of lurgy propaganda that appeared on UK bus stops, etc. at the height of the nonsense. And yeah, very, very appropriate, because a similar hysteria is happening at the moment, isn't it? With the heat wave that's currently going on more in southern Europe, because well, hey, it's summer after all, and hot weather does tend to happen in the summer. But as far as these idiots, mainstream media idiots, are concerned, you'd think it's the end of the world, wouldn't you, really? Absolutely ridiculous. So I do like to see a bit of mockery here going on about it, just to keep things in perspective. And it's a little bit reminiscent, isn't it, of that Project Veritas sting operation, where they were talking to, with a hidden camera, to, I think it was a CNN director or something like that, someone senior in one of the mainstream media places at least, and he was going on, and this is going back a couple of years now, I think. He was saying how at the moment it's all about the lurgy, but that's only got a certain shelf life, and once that's done we'll be moving on to climate change and going on about how bad that is. So it's kind of, well, it seems that that is what's going on now that they've sort of wrung out every last drop they could from the lurgy. They're transitioning over and really hyping up and being totally hysterical about global warming and all of that kind of thing. So it seems like that bloke's prediction, or that Project Veritas thing, was very real. Mind you, having said that, it seems that there is still a little bit of hysteria about the lurgy knocking around. Lorraine, my wife Lorraine, came home from work yesterday, and she was saying that one or two people in her office were going on about how another lockdown might happen. Not sure. I've been away, as you know, for sort of over the last week, just getting back into things now, and so I haven't heard anything about any new sort of scariant variants, or any new thing. Well, I say I haven't heard about any new thing. I think I remember seeing a couple of weeks ago, just before going, having my time off, how supposedly there's some new thing on its way, new lurgy on its way, which if you get it, yeah, there's quite a big percentage chance that you'll die from it. So trying to ramp things up. So they're probably talking about that. Maybe they're talking about climate lockdowns, I don't know. But I think, and again, I think this is more to do with stuff that was happening last week, with that thing I was just talking about, that new scariant. So I don't think, yeah, it's already running out of steam, because I haven't seen anything, any articles about it this week. So let me know if you know anything more about that than I do. But it seems like, because I think what they're doing is they're still trying to sort of strike that flint, aren't they? You know, getting the sparks going every now and again, to see if something catches a light, and they get the inferno they managed to get 3 years ago. But this time round, although they're trying it on every now and again, it's not working. People just aren't buying it, and therefore the whole kind of story just seems to disappear as quickly as it appears now. But yeah, if you know anything more than I do, leave a comment in the comment section below. So I'm going to talk for the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about something that Lee from the Veritas FinZit channel talked about in his video yesterday. I think most people who watch me know him, but yeah, his latest video, he was talking about how he'd like to get a motorbike. He used to be a biker, hasn't had one for quite a few years, I don't think, but he's now hankering after one. And he was asking the question in his video, well, do I go and actually get this bike and blow a load of savings on it, or if there's any kind of financial trouble around, like a recession or whatever it might be around the corner, would I be more sensible in just keeping that money in the bank, in my savings, and giving myself a bit of a buffer, a few more options than what people who've got no money at all might have, if things really go pear-shaped. So he was asking that question, and I found it interesting because I know a lot of people are asking the same kind of thing. Well, I've got a few savings, what do I do with them? Do I dare to spend any of it? Should I just leave it there? Should I invest in something else? And this is my thought on it. Not that this is financial advice. Until taking financial advice from an electrician becomes a thing, don't regard this as any kind of financial advice. This is purely my thoughts and kind of what I'm doing to a limited degree myself. And that is, if a normal recession is on its way, then yeah, you probably want to leave your money in your savings account, because it's always good to have a bit of money there for a rainy day, as the old saying goes. But if more serious things are on their way, like a total financial collapse, which this is stuff that a lot of people are actually talking about and think might happen, they're talking about the total collapse of the dollar and the UK pound sterling and the euro and all of the other what they call fiat currencies out there, that they might completely collapse, which would mean, well, it wouldn't be any point in having savings, because if you've got, say, £1,000 worth of savings in there now and that happens, well, they might not be worth any more than £100 in real terms. If that, the value might go down to absolutely zero. So how do you counter that if you've got money in the bank? It's a difficult one, isn't it? And some people think you should perhaps invest in assets, physical assets, not just anything. It's got to be stuff that's perhaps going to be useful if a total collapse comes, something that you can use personally, and also something that other people would find useful, and therefore it becomes tradable. So if, let's say, the UK pound goes totally down the drain and people refuse to accept it anymore, and all they'll take in terms of payment is, well, let's say it's silver, let's say that goes up in value, which things like that would shoot up in value. So if you bought a kind of something, say a motorbike for £5,000, that is still going to be kind of worth £5,000 in terms of silver. Whereas if you just left that money in the bank in pounds, that would be worth nothing. But if you had a sort of a useful physical asset there, maybe you could trade it and get a lot of its value back in terms of silver, ounces of silver, and then you could go out and trade that for a week's worth of food if you're desperate for food or something or whatever. So that is one school of thought, just having something that's useful, because obviously a motorbike, if things really go pear-shaped and you can't drive your car anymore because you can't get any petrol, well, obviously you can go a lot further on a gallon of petrol on a motorbike than you can in a car, and you can. And if you've got a bicycle, we've got a couple of bicycles here, a few bicycles, and yeah, that's even you're even better off with a bicycle. So something that's useful like that, or maybe a generator, maybe a supply of food, tinned food that can be traded, all of this kind of thing that is useful to you. You can use it yourself, but also if you need to trade it, it's something you could trade. So that is my thoughts on it, really. Probably a few rambly thoughts about it in my usual manner, but yeah, what do you do? Do you leave your money in the bank, or do you go and get a few physical assets? A few weeks ago I was talking about those little folding bikes, the Bromptons that we've got. They actually hold their value as well. Although they're quite pricey to buy, they hold their value really well, and you can sort of buy it, use it for quite a long time, and then sell it and still get, I don't know, about sort of 60-70% of your initial investment back, or even more if you get a good second-hand deal like I did on them. I could probably, do a couple of thousand miles on my one, use it for quite a few years, and then turn around and get about 80% of what I paid for it back, because they hold their value, you see. They're useful. If you can't get fuel anymore for your car, I can get around on that thing, and yeah, I could trade it for quite a few ounces of silver if I needed to as well. So yeah, that would be my thoughts in answer to Lee's question. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to him, isn't it? And up to you what you do. But I'd like to see some thoughts from you in the comments section below, because I know a lot of people are kind of worried about this. They're asking questions about this. What do you think? What's your thoughts? I'd be interested in seeing that. So with that, gonna leave it. Back soon. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.